9 times out of 10, we're going to hold A and try to take it to the pitch. As you can see, when you get that pitch out, there's nothing out here. You know what I mean? Like, this is something that if you have a pack box like this, you can have a lot of success. And now you can see how there's just a really wide seam created because the safety is getting pulled over. And I think that that's programmed that way because, like, most people don't expect a tight end to be blowing you up the seam like that. I'll keep with the quarterback. You can't always play the pitch like that, as the quarterback is also very good play. If you guys are looking for fast, cheap, reliable MUT coins, check out my coin sponsors at MMOXP.com and use discount code MONEYSHOT for 6% off your order. Link in the description below.
The champ is here!
Welcome back, Money Team. This is Mad Money Shot, sniffing up the Madden cheese as always. In today's video, since I don't really have any voice due to the fact that I was at the Eagles-Cowboys game last night, leave my voice in the stadium, I'm going to give you guys another free version of my ebooks, which is something that I try to do each and every month. So if you guys want to see me continue to do this, please make sure to be a subscriber, hit the like button, let me know in the comment section. Other than that, let's get right into the video. Now, the reason that I give out these full versions, there's two reasons. I try to give back to the people that watch my channel that don't buy my books, as I want to give you guys as much content as possible, but I also want to give you guys a free preview of what you get if you want to either download my ebooks, which you can do instantly simply by clicking links in the description or the top pinned comment, or for people that want to watch the full video on my members only section or on my Patreon, you can get the full version. This is about an hour of my Washington Commanders, but the full one is over 4 hours long. And both offenses I'm going to show you guys are also in my custom offensive ebook too. So if you guys use custom playbooks, you can always check that out as well. Next month, I plan on probably putting out a full defense. So if you guys want to see specific defense, let me know in the comment section what you'd like me to break down. Other than that, I also have gameplay video of the offenses I'm going to show you guys today that I already put out. So if you guys want to see either of these against live opponents, I will have that popping up in the top right hand corner right now, as well as on screen at the end of the video. So you guys can always check that out. But other than that, let's get right into the video.
The motion slot triple option is a good play that uses that motion as well. We'll continue to pick random. This play here, you can go up the middle, but since this is a pretty packed box, 9 times out of 10, we're going to hold A and try to take it to the pitch. As you can see, when you get that pitch out, there's nothing out here. You know what I mean? Like, this is something that if you have a packed box like this, you can have a lot of success, especially if you have a really fast receiver. But you can also, like right here, we have a 0, so this is a man coverage where there's nobody out here. As I tried to hold it with the quarterback, I thought I did. I thought I held A there. That would have been a perfect opportunity. Here we have a bit of a gap. So this is something where I can, like, pre-snap, read it, and try to take it up the middle, try to treat this like a dive. But ultimately, the bigger play is always going to be to the edge. Here we have another, pretty sizable gap look in the inside. As you can see, it just constantly condenses. Even with a wide look like that, everybody's condensing. And that's why this is going to be such a good play to the outside. If I hold the A button and get that pitch out, which you see, you get some pretty good pitch animations. There was a guy waiting there, and you might see that from time to time, especially since a lot of people are going to set their adjustments, their coaching adjustments that way. But you don't have to pitch it out. You can keep it with the quarterback and have some pretty good runs. So it's a good triple option play, probably the best triple option in the formation, but there's probably a better run play in the power option, which I'm going to the weak side here, which I really like. This is something where, because I have my blocker, I mean, we have a guy coming off the backside, but it's not going to matter. But you can see how that fullback blocks and just sets you, just sets the edge so easily. Even if your opponent sets this to watch for the quarterback, as I probably should have held it there. But even if they set it to watch for the quarterback or watch for the pitch, a lot of times this lead blocker is just gonna take that up. As you can see right there, I forced the defender to me before pitching it out with the left bumper. As you can see, there's just a lot of good opportunity on a play like this, and it all comes from the fact that I have that fullback just taking on the first guy. As you can see right there, I don't have to pitch it out. I can keep it with the quarterback. Probably could have got more there if I would have tried a little bit harder. But yeah, this is pretty much it. It's like I said right here, he's going. Just watch the pitch defender. If they want to follow the pitch, keep with the quarterback. You can have just as much success with the quarterback. As you can see right here, as I ran to my blocker. That this is a very successful play, as I don't have to I just keep with the quarterback every single time and still have a lot of success, because that edge defender is blocking me or keeping me alive to the weak side. I just wish, the only thing is that if my quarterback was a little bit faster, as we get right there, he does actually finally address the quarterback, and I can just pitch it out and get a big play with the running back. So very explosive run play. This is definitely the best run play in the formation because how the blocking sets up. And you can go the other way, which I didn't really mention. On that last play there, it looked like we had a 0. So let's go and let's pick like a 0 one more time. You can flip the play with the right stick if you want to. If you see there's like no defenders over here before the play starts, you can always go the other way and have success that way too. Obviously, I don't find that's the better way, even against a zero like this. I still feel it's better to keep with the quarterback and go in the direction with the even behind the receivers as they run fake runoff routes to the point where a lot of times they'll pull back the man defenders anyway. Next up, we have the halfback slam. Very similar to the other play, which is an inside run, but it has no motion. As you can see, we still get really good blocking from this play. As it's just the position of the fullback. The fullback's just in a really good position to help out these inside runs. This play though, you can flip it and go either way, which I'm not sure you can do in the motion play, and you could also bounce it outside if you don't have any space. Because this one here, the other play condenses the formation because you get a guy following the motion. A lot of times he'll come in right to the gap. Where this one here, you don't necessarily have that problem where it just stays out nice and wide, and then I could just run this very well. So another really good run play. Next up out of the weak slot, we have another good running formation with the motion halfback zone weak to start. Continue to go random. As this play here really just can motion a defender across, especially if it's a man coverage. A lot of times that can create a good look for you, but you can see how it's really all about the blocking anyway. The blocking that we have on the inside run is really good because that lead fullback there just does a really good job of leading the way there. As you can see, we're just getting explosive runs one after the next here. I'm not reading the defense. But like I said, if it's man, a lot of times the man defender can follow that guy across. But like I said, very good inside run. There, the blocker actually got in the way, but you can tell, it looks like you have two lead blockers between the fullback and the double team, although there, nobody blocked them. So you can see it's a little inconsistent, or at least it can be, but for the most part, if your opponent sees that motion, they might start chasing it because of some of the other run plays, and it can lead to explosive plays. The last couple have not been great. Here we have a gap though, so I'm assuming that this will do a bit of a better job. As you can see, we just get a very good inside run there. So very consistent in my opinion, especially if your opponent is chasing the motion across, which you're going to see in a lot of these plays. Next up, we have the jet pass fake zone. Go random. This is going to be best against man coverages where there's nobody on the other side here. But you can see how you can get out on an island, and even against a look like that where the defender's kind of down in the box, you can still have success. Here we got a blitz, so this is going to be an absolute nightmare as I already hiked the ball. But he did just kind of stay home to the point where I could get around him too. So luckily, I don't know if I hiked the ball early or what made that happen, but this is just, it's a good play if your opponent doesn't have anybody over here. You can hit him with this look, and I haven't seen a look like that yet. Where here we got another blitzer. Hopefully he'll just stay home like he did last time, and you can see that that's not the case. So like I said, I obviously don't want to run this into a blitz or a cover 2. Here where the guy's back, this is a little bit better because this is a cover 3 or cover 4 where the cornerback's going to drop back, giving me an opportunity to run this underneath it. But like I said, anything like a cover 2 man would be best. Here once again, he's back about 8 yards off, so he's going to drop back after the snap and at least give me an opportunity to try to run to the edge. Not the best jet sweep in the world, but still a good one. Like here, he's back kind of far. You can see the cornerback drops back. I could try to get some yards there. Still not saying the look that I'm hoping for. Like I said, a cover 2 man would be best. This is a cover 3 or a cover 1. This is going to be one once again. The quarterback drops back, give me an opportunity to get some yards there. That's going to be the look that I like, where the cornerback's back as far as possible because he's the one I'm really attacking here. Here's another play. Cornerbacks drop back. I'm not going to get a ton because there's 2 unblocked defenders there. If I have 1 unblocked defender, that's fine. I just got to make a miss. But like these looks are looking like cover 4s and stuff like that, where here we can finally get somebody out on that guy. Now I can get some yards. One unblocked defender is fine. That's just on me to make a play. A blitzing one though is not ideal, as I typically wouldn't even run this the second I saw that safety drop down. Although he did kind of go to stay home the same way he did the previous play, so I probably could have went wide, as this is not the end of the world. He might just be dropping into the box. As you can see, we could try to get around that, but it's just not going to happen. So we still haven't seen a look that I'm looking for, as I guess they just don't have a look like this in this defense. But yeah, any play where there's just nobody out there would be the best way to run that. Next up, we have the smash wide corner. This is another play where you're going to make a motion. You're going to motion out either this guy here and put him on a streak, or you're going to motion across the X receiver. The X receiver curl I like, so I don't necessarily want to use that. But if you do it like this with the running back on an out route, you have one side that beats zone, one side that beats man. The right side is going to be your zone beater between this guy and the corner route, while the other side is going to have a curl route which beats man, and the corner route on that side is also a man beater. But if you want to, you can motion this guy across and do the exact same thing. This time you'll have this little wheel route, which is nice. As you'll see there, I don't know why he was so slow to go to the field, but as you'll see here, this little wheel route is actually a pretty good route as well. when it comes to man and zone, because he will turn up over the middle, kind of like a Texas route. Although, like I said, if I throw it to it too early, he's still kind of doing like his little animation. So I like that route. I don't necessarily want to lose that route. So it's really up to you which route you want to give up. But like I said, this is actually capable of some one-play touchdowns too, because of how good the man-beating route is. So we'll go ahead and we'll pick that play again. We'll just pick cover 0 here. Gonna want to run it from a hash mark too, so you can have some space. But just to show you guys, like I said, if you like to keep this curl route, it's a really good man beater, as it can sit down underneath that. It can also sit down under cover 3 and cover 4 routes as well, because the cornerbacks drop back. But if I motion him across, you'll notice how it's going to create outside leverage for the B receiver. And I'll give myself a block here, because I'm just going to throw this B receiver. Typically can get open for this very easy catch and run. If you also want to, you can custom stem him down to get him open quicker, which I'll go ahead and I'll do, as it should have the same success. Just gonna go ahead and I'm gonna hike it, because like I said, custom stemming him down just makes it even faster, as he gets nowhere near the cornerback and we're just gone. So that's a really good route. Works the same way against pretty much any man coverage. Go ahead and I'll back out and I'll pick another man coverage to show that. We'll do cover 1 here, cover 1 hole, and it's gonna be the same way. Like I said, you can custom stem him down. Custom stem down all the way if you want. As you can see, that it's that route might be a little bit short. I find that custom stemming him down that far can work if you just wait till it gets all the way to the sideline, as I'll try to do here. Like I said, if you wait a little longer and bullet it down towards the bottom of the reticle, that can be more successful. But we're going to do this one more time. If you're going to do it this way, put somebody on a streak just to pull that safety back, because this really acts like a speed out route now. You don't even really have to motion him across. Like, you can just put him on a flat just to kind of get him outside. And this is something where too, even if you do have success with this, even though like obviously it gets open, but it's going to be more difficult to get away from the safety. So moving this guy all the way across, putting him on a streak, maybe even putting A on a streak, just to pull that safety as much as possible is going to be key. Because once I do catch this pass, as you can see right here, we're getting a really good separation there. The hard part is going to be getting past the safety to call it a one-play touchdown against cover 1, but it's definitely going to be a very big play. And you can also have success against cover 2 man, although obviously now there's going to be 2 safeties on the field, but it's still a really good man-beating route. So once again, I don't necessarily have to. I accidentally made the mistake already, so we'll just run it like this. But you can see how you can find space with that. It might be better to, once again, just put like Y on a streak just to pull back the safety. You can motion this guy across the same way. The motion changes the play dramatically to the point where it just helps you out with positioning and leverage and stuff like that. As you can see right here, he's still there, but we're still dotting that up. So definitely not a one-play touchdown against cover 2, but a very big play nonetheless, as it beats every man coverage. And this route can also have a lot of success against zone coverages too. So we're just going to go ahead, we're going to put X on a streak. We're going to custom stem B down. And you can see how he can have success. But once again, you have to hold it to the sideline. You can't necessarily throw it that fast. So like I said, custom stemming him all the way down. And we're holding it a little bit longer. And you'll see that he can get open underneath cover 3 because the cornerbacks drop back. Hard flatting is a little bit different. It's not going to be cover 2 the same way. Although we'll try cover 2. Cover 2 right here. Like I said, this is going to be a play where, the corner or the X receiver might be the better play, especially if you have a route pulling, which you can get from the Y receiver if you're from the fullback if you motion him out. So if I motion him out, put these guys on a streak now, that safety can't necessarily jump down on it, and you can have a good cover 2 play. But like I said, the B receiver here is not necessarily going to get open underneath cover 2 successfully a lot. I mean, you can see right there it did because of the streak. But ultimately, you're a hard flat away from throwing an interception. So it does get open underneath every zone, especially if you put a streak to pull back. We'll try out cover 4. Do cover 4 quarters. And it should be the same way because it's just a dramatically arcing route. Although, once again, you have to wait till it gets further to the sideline. If you throw it too early, you can see how that can be an issue. Like I said, throw it late, throw it down and away. Not a huge play, but let's say you only need a couple of yards. You don't always need a one-play touchdown. So you can see right there, it's just if you just wait, he's going to get open every single time. It's an unstoppable route from that regard against pretty much any man or zone. just depending on how you stem it. In today's video, I'm going to show you guys a one-play touchdown against every single defense in the game that you can do out of the PA dagger, which is a very unique play. And we're also going to start off with what I think is one of the best defenses in the entire game right now, and that's Tampa 2, because Tampa 2 got some much-needed improvements in the last update, making it a very hard defense to stop. And I'm going to show you guys what I'm talking about. So we're just going to go. We're going to pick this one here as one of the things that was really, needed to be fixed when it comes to Tampa 2 is how the mid-read reacts to routes in their area. And I'll go ahead and I'll show you guys what this looks like as the mid-read just gets really deep. And you'll see how the B receiver can still split these safeties, but it's going to be even easier if I move the ball over to the other hash mark. If I were to just run the ball from the other hash or just flip the play from where I was, you can tell that all I really did was put the X receiver here on a streak. And now that I'm on the other hash mark, you're going to notice how the mid-read doesn't react to this B receiver at all. So we have a much easier wide open touchdown this time, which is something that's actually very difficult to do in the game right now. But this is also a very good play against cover 3. So we're going to pick that again. We're going to switch over to cover 3 sky this time. Now this play is going to work the same way as you're going to want to run from a hash mark to the wide side of the field like we did with the cover 2, and it's going to have much more success. But realistically, you can probably run it just about anywhere in between the hash marks, just as long as you're always running the open side of the field. So for this play, all we're going to do, motion out this fullback. If you see the safety, what he did there is he moved over towards the center of the field a little bit more based on the fact that we have now what looks like a spread alignment with 2 receivers on both sides. You could do the same thing with the running back, but you want to leave the notion that you could potentially run the ball with the running back. And if you motion out the running back, your opponent knows you're not going to hand to the fullback. There's not a lot of fullback runs. So motion this guy out, putting him on a streak, and putting the X receiver on a comeback route. And we're basically going to play on the fact that the A receiver looks like he's going towards the cornerback, and the B receiver looks like he's angling towards the safety. The fact that that's happening is what's going to make the cornerback not react to the B receiver and drop down to the corner route. Although I could also custom stem this route up if I want to, but you don't really have to do that. You just have to wait for that outside receiver to react. And then you can see he's dropping down that corner route as your bullet and passing away from the safety for a very easy one-play touchdown once again. So on this play here, since it looks like this receiver is running towards the safety, the cornerback on the left side is not going to cover him, and he's going to follow the other route, while this guy here can basically just be bullet and pass led away from the safety for another easy one-play touchdown. And that's also going to have success when it comes to things like cover 3 match, which is basically the same thing. So we'll go ahead and pick cover 3 match. As matching cover 3 is a little bit different. You don't get that same look if I motion this guy out. One of the things that makes match cover 3 so good is the fact that we're going to have the seams matched by the curl flats. There's nothing else really in the area, so you can see how the B receiver here has somebody running with him the entire way up the field, which is obviously going to make it difficult to do that. So all you really have to do is the second setup, which is going to be to put the running back or the fullback on a wheel route and motion them out. Now you can put a running back at the fullback position. I have a traditional fullback. He's not even really a fullback. He's actually a linebacker, but he has no route running ability whatsoever. And you're going to see it's not going to matter, because basically what's going to happen is the in route is going to clear for him to the point where he's wide open over the top. And this is going to be a pretty consistent look, because anytime you have 3 receivers to one side, it can always give match coverages issues. As you can see, we got a huge pick set here, and this guy is just left wide open running down the sideline for another easy one-play touchdown. And that's going to be the same setup when it comes to just about any matching defense. We're going to pick the PA dagger one more time. We're going to switch over to cover 4 match, which is going to be cover 4 quarters first. And there's actually more than one way you can do this, which I'll show you in a second, but we're going to keep it consistent with this wheel route by putting him on a wheel route and motioning him out. And that's all you really have to do, as once again, this particular defender here cannot turn and run. It did look like I got bumped into a little bit there, but it wasn't even the defensive player that time. It looked like the offensive player got bumped into, and it still didn't matter, because like I said, wheel routes are very good, especially at the line of scrimmage when it comes to beating man coverages. You can see right here, the defender that's supposed to cover him in the last play was the middle linebacker right in front of it, but on this play, it's actually the guy that's jamming the receiver. Now he's way behind already, as I didn't really have to do anything. As you can see, once again, we got bumped into a little bit, but we still kept our acceleration for a very easy one-play touchdown with this defense again. Now, there is another setup you can do for cover 4 where you're going to basically take that exact same fullback, motion the line of scrimmage, and put him on a streak. Once again, you can use the running back, so whichever one you want to use, you can do, but I don't want to use Saquon Barkley because I think people will say that's the only reason he's getting open. But you'll notice on this play against cover 4 match, or at least cover 4 quarters, that the safety on the other side of the field is basically in a position where he has to match the wide receiver, and since he's all the way across the field, he's never going to get over in time, as he realizes it late, and I can basically just bomb it up because he's got so much field to cover to get across the field. This way is much easier, as he's basically just going to streak right down the middle of the field without anybody picking him up. And that's because the safety across the field is responsible for him, and he's way too late to figure that out by the time we're already crossing the end zone. And both of these setups can work against cover 4 palms as well, which to me is a much better defense. Let's go and pick cover 4 palms. As you could do the exact same setup with the wheel route, where we're really going to rely on the fact that we're going to get some bumping around that will help the wide receiver get open. But you can see how it's definitely not as good. The better setup against cover 4 palms is going to be the second setup that I showed you, where you motion this guy out and put him on a streak. Only this time we're not going to throw to the wide receiver, because he's going to get matched by the linebacker or the safety in the middle of the field. Only this time the B receiver is going to be behind, because he has to get matched by the quarter flat, making it that much easier for him to get over the top. So if you're not sure whether it's cover 4 match or cover 4 palms, even though there is a giveaway based on the fact that this cornerback is down in an almost press look, that typically means palms. But if you're not sure, you really just have to watch both these receivers and see which one gets matched by the safety, as the one that does not get matched by the safety is going to be wide open as we basically get over the top once again. Now when it comes to other matching style defenses like cover 6 and cover 9, they're basically the same thing, only one side's cover 2 and the other side's cover 4, so you really have to just determine which side's which. So all you really got to do is read the defense to see which side's the cover 2 side and which side's the cover 4 side, and use the setup that I showed to basically beat either side of those defenses. The cover 2 side is definitely going to be the easier one, and on this play you can tell it's on the left side because the cornerback's 5 yards off the line of scrimmage, while on the other side he's 8 yards off the line of scrimmage, meaning that we're going to work the cover 2 side just by putting the X receiver on a streak once again. And we already saw how the B receiver just gets inside of the safeties when there's 2 of them. Well, now there's only 1, so it makes it even easier. Now there's also something to be said about the spacing of the wide receivers in this play. As I'm going to pick that play again, I'm going to show you guys how to get open up the cover 4 seam, which doesn't even really exist, by picking the cover 4 drop field, which is a very different cover 4 than cover 4 match. As we're going to do the same thing, we're going to keep this to the hash mark to the wide side of the field. I'm going to put the X receiver on a post route or on a comeback route once again, and then I'm going to put the B receiver on a corner route, where all I have to do is custom stem him up to about 10 yards above the break of the corner route. And you're going to notice how we're going to get a one-on-one with the safety, who's not really matching. So when he breaks to the outside, it's going to be a very easy catch and run to space. As there's something about the wide spacing between these two receivers, based off the fact that this receiver out here is going to hold the cornerback down, while this receiver going up the slot is going to get a one-on-one with the safety that's really only designed to keep the play from going over the top. So when he breaks to the outside, it's just a very easy one-play touchdown with much worse coverage. This play can also have a lot of success against man coverages using the same setup that I showed against match coverage. So let's go and let's pick that. And we're going to pick a play that everybody has issues with, or at least a lot of people do, with the mid blitz. And we're going to do the same setup where we put Van Sumerman here, the fullback, who, like I said, you can substitute in a running back, motion him out, and we're going to draw the attention to the best cornerback on the team, but it's not going to matter, based off the fact that we're going to get that interference once again, as he has to run through it one more time through that in route, and you can see he's getting open over the top. So you can either do that, or like I said, you could just switch over to the running back, who's probably going to be even better. He's matched with the safety. Let's go ahead and we'll block. We'll probably have to slide protection or something like that to get this blitz picked up. But you can see how it's going to be the same effect, although that time it was actually a little bit more difficult because the fullback's not going to do as good a job as blocking. But if you want a little bit more speed, or if you don't want to be covered by the top cornerback on the team like the fullback is here, you could always use the other guy, the other running back. As you can see, we do have a lot of consistent catch and run here, and Sumerman, I think, is like a 53 overall fullback. As you can see, once again, it's always the same thing. This in route just perfectly times with the wheel route, knocking this guy off just enough that we're going to get separation on this wheel route every single time against just about any man coverage or matching zone. And it's going to be the same thing against cover 1 man, so let's go and let's pick cover 1 hole. And we're going to do the exact same thing by putting this guy here on a wheel route, motioning him out, and you're going to notice that it's going to be the exact same effect, as the wide receiver here is just going to get a little bit of a bump, and he's just going to get wide open, as wheel routes give cover 1 a lot of trouble regardless. And it's going to be the same way when it comes to cover 2 man, only this time obviously we're going to have a safety over the top. There's actually a couple different options when it comes to cover 2 man, as I think the best one is probably just to motion out the running back and put him on a streak. And that's because the running back's not going to get pressed. So if I put the X receiver on a streak to hold that safety back, you're going to see how this running back is just going to run right through the middle. And that's something, like I said, I could have been motioning the running back every single time instead of the fullback. The only real reason that I haven't been doing that is because I didn't want people to think that the only reason the play was working was because of Saquon Barkley. But we could do the exact same thing with Van Sumerman. Just basically put him on a streak. You can see how fullbacks, running backs, they just don't get pressed by linebackers, and they're just splitting the center of the field very easily But you can still also do the same thing with the wheel route. You just want to make sure to put the B receiver on a streak to pull back that safety. You'll see how the wheel route does get covered very well. And this is actually a little bit more dangerous of a throw, but I just want to show that you do have options. As it would probably be better in this scenario if you're going to try to work that wheel route one more time to put the X receiver on a streak, because you want to clear this side out as much as possible from the safety. As you can see, there is a throwing window, but it's obviously not as good as just going right down the center. And we're going to finish our one-play touchdowns with the PA wheel over. Let's pick that. I'm going to do cover 3 sky first. All I got to do is put B on a post, put A on a corner route, and that's it. The B post you could actually custom stem. Once again, I'm on a hash. I find that helps. As you can see that the corner over there really doesn't know who to cover, and then I get a bad passing animation. But you can see how it gets open over the top. It's also really based on, you know, when you throw the ball. Like, I do feel like it's probably best to custom stem, as I messed everything up there. It's probably best, and I'm messing everything up. It's probably best to custom stem the 2 receivers up a little bit, up maybe 5 yards, and then just, you know, just to get over the top of that cornerback a little bit easier. But you can see how, you know, the double post thing works very easily, because the higher post or the outside post also pulls the safety back. Next up, we'll do cover 3 match, which should work pretty similarly, as you do have the option to run it this way. Although I do find that once again, you'll have the guy on the B receiver will follow. As you can see there, I didn't bother to custom stem and stuff like that, so this is not necessarily the ideal way to do it. But we'll do it one more time, as I accidentally messed that up. Like I said, you can custom stem these guys up to get over that corner when he crosses. But like I said, you do have somebody trailing, so it'll still work, but it's just a tighter window. But you could also do things like put the running back here on a wheel and motion him out, and this will just be an easier play, an easier version. As you'll notice that, you know, the linebacker, whoever's supposed to follow, a lot of times won't be able to follow the running back on a wheel. So a couple different ways you can do that. I wish that I could do it just like this with the B receiver. And if you have a lot of speed, you might be able to, but I mean, you can see he does get over the top, he just doesn't catch it. But if you have a huge speed advantage, you can run this as is and would have success. Next up, we'll pick cover 4. Starting off cover quarters. And this should be the same way with the B receiver once again. As you can see, it's a little bit of tighter coverage. So the secondary option with the running back is going to be a better option. So once again, wheel, motion out, put B on a post. That's all you really got to do. And you'll see how, once again, late match, easy over the top, one play touchdown. Another thing where, I mean, it's a switch concept, so I don't know if the B receiver with a good speed advantage might be able to get over the top, but you can see how they do match pretty well, to the point where it's not necessarily the best way to go. You could probably just motion this guy out to put him on a streak also. Once again, put guy on a post, and you can see how just a simple streak will, you know, get open late because 27 can't match. Next up, we'll do cover 4 palms. Against cover 4 palms, you might not need any adjustments, as the X receiver here, when they switch, he seems to just run right past. And I took AJ Brown out to make sure that it wasn't AJ Brown, that it was the route itself, or the route concept itself. As you can see, that there's just they're not handling the switch very well. So very easy cover 4 palms play. I wonder if quarters reacts the same way, although I already showed a setup for quarters. I just want to see if quarters will have a similar reaction if either one of these routes will have that way. And it looks like X might have, as we have an opportunity there if I get a little bit of a better pass. It almost looks like neither one of these guys are getting covered very well, which is something that, you know, I think that you should come to expect when it comes to quarters coverage. So the post route does work there, although they got that jumping animation, which kind of messed everything up. But yeah, this is definitely a good concept, as I had B there wide, and I blew it once again to B to this guy. But you just have to really watch which one of these guys doesn't handle the transition well, as we're getting opportunities to both here. The only thing I would say is just put A on a corner route so that the cornerback from the other side of the field can't necessarily help out there you can see the defenders ran into one another, and I could have went to either one. But it looks like this play really is designed, as long as you put A on a corner route, to hold the other side of the field. It looks like this play is designed where either one of these guys can get open, depending on how the switch transition works. But it's obviously a little bit more effective when it comes to palms, because quarters does a better job of matching it, which is why I showed the other setup, which is way easier. But against palms, this play looks like it needs no adjustment. So I'll go ahead and I'll do palms one more time as I accidentally picked cover 3 match. Do palms once again just to make sure that that's consistent, because it felt that way to me. But yeah, palms looks like it's definitely beats palms way easier than quarters. As you can see, we already got that guy just running past, and I think it's because of the pre-snap adjustment. Like palms typically has the cornerback playing down more to the line. Like if I motion out this guy here, you'll see how that corner comes down. You know what I mean? Which is something that I could probably do to make this even more effective. As you can see, that just totally messed everything up, but still worked out. So yeah, if I really want to, if I know he's in palms and I want to, and I'll go and I'll continue to put the A tight end on a route there. But if I want to just motion this guy out just to make sure that palms corner drops down, I could do that, and it's probably going to help even more. As you can see, it just helps to create that space. Although you really don't have to make that motion. So a lot of different ways to beat quarters and palms here. This play also has success against cover 9 or cover 6 on the cover 2 side. You just have to locate which side's cover 2. You'll know by that side because the cornerback will be closer to the line of scrimmage. You just have to put the X receiver on streak, and the B receiver here once again gets inside the safety. Although you might have to bullet and pass lead a little bit better than I did there. I'm going to do that one more time. As like I said, we just have to lead away from the safety as much as possible. It's going to be a one-play touchdown once again. Next up, we have, last but not least, cover 4, which I'll go ahead and I'll pick in the 2-3 Sam here. Where are we at here? I'm sure it's somewhere in this formation. Cover 4 drop. There it is. So run from Ashmore to the open side of the field. Put B on a post and there's motion across X. We're also going to custom stamp him down while putting A on a streak. The corner route will hold the corner while the streak will hold the safeties. And this will allow for the B receiver here to get open over the top for a very easy one-play touchdown. Next up, out of the wing flex close, we have the speed option, which I'll go ahead and I'll pick random here. This is a play. You can run to the strong side or you can run to the weak side. So I'll go ahead and move it back to the middle of the field here. As the strong side is going to be best against like man coverages, wherever there's not somebody out there. Where I find it's best to run to the corner side. Although we got a bad pitch on that play that basically just floated the ball up in the air. But like right here, the cornerback down. Definitely want to go to the receiver side, pitch it out there. That was the same floater pitch, but it worked out that time as we get a nice big run. Like I said, anytime that cornerback's down, you don't want to, you can flip with the right stick, which is what I'm doing if you're not aware. But yeah, you don't have to throw it to the running back too. I can always keep with the quarterback if they're sliding that way. We go once again, like I said, we can just pitch it out with the RB button. There, we got picked. Like I said, that hanging curveball that they're throwing there is not the best thing. So like I said, I'll keep with the quarterback. You can't always play the pitch like that, as the quarterback is also very good play. As I didn't set that too, by the way. I don't know if the computer just automatically goes after the pitch or what, but like I said, I'll keep with the quarterback. It's not the end of the world to me. Keep with the quarterback, is there we finally get that pitch out as we get a nice little broken tackle there, and we're going once again. So like I said, very explosive run play to both sides of the field. I haven't gone to the other side, so let's go and let's do that. Like I said, we can just get that pitch out. You see they're all colliding on the running back once, or the quarterback once again, and we're going to the house 3 times on like 6 carries. So definitely one of the most explosive plays in the game. Next up, we're going to do the wide zone, which is another play you can go in either direction. If the quarterback's down like this once again, it's not a bad call to go that way, because you can see how that tight end can just get out on him for a very easy pickup. If he's back further, he won't necessarily do that. But like I said right here, he's down on him once again. So we'll just make that dude miss. Now we got Barkley all lit up because this formation is so beastie. But here he's back. So like I said, if I do that again, he's not going to get out to him. Nobody gets out to him. He's going to target somebody closer. So if the cornerback's closer, he's going to target that cornerback. Here we go once again. Now we got a blitz and safety. That might be detrimental though, because you're obviously he's going to take the first guy. So here we go once again. He's down in the box. I could do that, get out wide. So I could flip this and go the other way towards the two receivers. But like I said, I'm basing it off of how close the defender is. You can see right there. If they're close, they'll get targeted better and they'll get blocked better. Right here, he's down in the box once again, so he's going to kick out, target that guy. Very easy play. This is just a little bit more of a traditional stretch run than the pitch option, which a lot of people might prefer. Now they do have a good inside run in the halfback zone weak, which is just basically your best inside variation. You can take this outside, if it's not there. So right here, if I feel like it's not there, I could always bounce it out and treat this like a stretch. So if you can't fit all these plays in your audibles, but this is something that you can have a lot of success with. But it's another play where you can flip it. So he's really just looking for the biggest gap inside. Here though, like I said, I could try to take it out to where the tight ends are. You can see we flip it and the hole just presents itself in the middle. So this is just your best inside run, but it does have outside versatility. Next up we got really good plays in the jet series. These are RPOs. I think we're done with our run plays. So let's go and let's show this off. With the jet pass fake zone being an option, once again, if that cornerback's close like that, he will get targeted. As you can see, he does pull him inside. So this is a good run play when the cornerback's down in the box like he is there, although they're 2 down this time, so it's not going to get around this. This time they should, well, they backed away. So that was actually perfect. They're not always going to do that. Sometimes they'll attack more. But you can see how this is a very good run play. Here we go once again. 2 guys in that area might get me caught, but you'll see how there he just decided not to block him at all, but we still got about 5 or 6. So very good motion play, but it's going to set up a lot of other motion plays that I really like. As you can see once again, they just suck inside, and I can get outside with Dotson, who's not even really that fast. I mean, he is the fastest receiver on the team, but here he's down the box once again, so we should be able to pick that guy up, get wide. Although he kind of cut right through there. I should have took that a little bit wider. Like I said, that cornerback close to the box, that's perfect. He's gonna get picked up. That block is just really good. As we have a really good jet series here. The best play though is probably the RPO read-jet slide, which is straight out of my Alabama offensive ebook and in Madden, where the X receiver is good, but the Y receiver is really the guy, especially in man coverages like this. As long as he doesn't run into the blocker, which can happen quite a bit, as he runs into the guy coming across, which can mess it up. Here we got another man, and I tried to throw it a little bit late. Like I said, I'm trying to wait till he clears, which I can hold the A button, the A or X button, to get this a little bit cleaner. But then you don't want to hold it too long because you could get an illegal man downfield penalty. So it's really best to just get this play off. So against man coverages, like I said, hold A to get a clean throw, and then you can see how this guy's just wide open in the flat coming across. And then the X receiver can be really good too. So like I said, get in the habit of holding A or X, just so you don't have that issue where you're getting the ball out and getting bad throws from the quarterback. So go one more time. Like I said, we can hit this guy between there. He gets kind of in a tight circle here. So once again, like I said, this guy coming across, not a lot that's going to stop that. Man or zone, he's going to get open every single time. And the X receiver is pretty good too. Although I find you don't have to. If you're going to throw to the X receiver, I find that it's not. You don't want to hold the A or X button. That's not necessarily a scenario you want to do that. So like I said, here we go once again. Like I said, that's man. A lot of times though, that defender chasing him will run into whoever is. There's a lot of bodies coming across. I try to throw that again. A lot of times that, like I said, all these routes get open against anything. It really isn't a specific defense that stops either one of these routes. And I haven't even run the ball yet, as you do have the option to hold it and run with the quarterback, which I tried to force there. You probably want to watch the read defender. But like I said, I can hold it and run with the quarterback just like a typical read option play. Or I could throw it to any one of these guys. So you really have 4 options. As the run to the running back is actually pretty good too. Although I'm just kind of forcing it now. So, but yeah, you have, it's just a really good RPO play. Really hard to stop. As you can see there, it really is best to hold A. But you can get an illegal man down field pound. As you can see, when he's coming across, he's just running into stuff, which can really mess up this play. But that's about the only thing that can stop this play, is him running into something. Next up, we have the RPO alert wide receiver screen, which is another play that if it's man coverage, you got to hand it off. But if you see that nobody drops immediately down, you can just drop it off to the receiver for a good catch and run. So like I said right here, it's a blitz. That might have been a scenario where that might have been a man zero. I really don't know, but they didn't drop down quick enough. So it's not really determined by the coverage as much as does somebody drop down immediately. And if they don't, you can see how explosive of a play this can be, as we almost score on something as simple. But it's a good run play too, which that's an obvious zero. And we're just going to take it wide, as this can be treated like an inside run or an outside run. But obviously, if I call this play, it's going to be because I want to get it to the bubble screen, which is being, pretty successful, as I'm getting 15 or more every single time. Next up, we're going to do the spacing. Keep going random here. Pretty much every route here beats man, while the running back really only beats zone. That's the only thing that's just a pure zone beater. But even with that, I mean, you can see how these curl routes can get open against zone. The right side would probably be the zone side, while the left side would be the man side. As you'll see here, because of that swing route that the running back's running, a lot of times I feel like that's designed to pull the flat defenders down towards the running back so that these curls can get open. So that's really the best way. If you're going to read zone, say right here, that's a zone coverage. Just throw it in there as you see that linebacker drop down on that curl. Here we have what looks like maybe a cover 2 man. I'm not really sure, but that looked like a man coverage for sure. But like I said, the curls really can beat man too. As you can see right here, we get a zero, go right over the middle there to Goddard. You know what I'm saying? So it's like all these routes beat man, but I would say that the easiest way to do is left side man, right side zone. Although this return route here, I mean, that's going to get open against zone coverage too. The only route that I wouldn't say consistently beats man and zone would be the B receiver and the running back, as B really only beats man and the running back really only beats zone. Next up, this is a pretty vertical play. We're going to go with the PA boot left tackle. This doesn't really require any adjustments. We're just going to go man zone here. As you have your corner route, which is going to be obviously a good zone concept there. As you can see, the streak pulls back. That's going to be your zone beater. It's going to get open. The corner route should get open against any zone. The flat, which is the RB receiver here, is also going to beat zone. And then the crossing route is going to be your man beater, which is going to be the A/X route, which also can beat zone. But here we luckily we get a man, and you can see it's not, the man beater portion of it's probably not as good as the zone beater portion of it. But especially when right there, you saw the tight end. I'm forcing it now. The tight end was getting totally knocked off his route by the center zone here. So here we're still trying to force that tight end as we finally get in there. Although that wasn't even a man coverage, but we'll run this until we get an actual man coverage. As you can see, we keep getting zones, and this is part of the zone structure. That's the thing. You have 3 levels of passing with the corner out, with the A receiver and the RB receiver. I'm just waiting to get an actual man coverage, and we finally completed against a man coverage. So even the corner route was open there, so it's not like the corner route's not part. Although running on throwing on the run like this is not necessarily the best. You probably want to set your feet as best you can, but it's a really good play, really good dink and dunk play. Next up, we're going to work on some one-play touchdowns, starting off with the motion dig goes, and we're going to start off with cover 3 sky, as this is a very unique one-play touchdown against cover 3 by putting B on a streak, A on a streak, and then put RB on a corner route, and then custom stem it down. Although I didn't even custom stem the right route, so custom stem that down. I really didn't have to, though, if I'm being honest. It doesn't matter. But the A receiver is going to be the play here, as the 2 receivers to that side really pull the safety in that direction. I'll do that one more time. Again, block the running back or do something else with the running back if you don't want that tell. But you can see how that corner out pulls for this guy right up the seam. So you can put the running back on a check down, just so that it's not, when you see that motion too much, your opponent's going to start looking for it. And now you can see how there's just a really wide seam created because the safety is getting pulled over by these 2 receivers. So I'll do it one more time. And I think that that's programmed that way because like most people don't expect a tight end to be blowing you up the seam like that. So very easy play against cover 3. Next up, we're going to do that again, and we'll pick cover 2 man. Same idea, only this time we don't want that streak. So I'll put him on a 10-yard out route to pull the safeties. And you'll see how the B receiver here can get open inside because once again this route's getting pulled outside. So I'll change that. And the RB receiver is a good check down, but I'll change the running back once again. Like I said, I don't want that tell. But you can see how this receiver does not get pressed, and we have an easy one-play touchdown against cover 2. Next up, we got the motion slot comeback. We're going to go random here, as there's a lot of good man beaters. With the, I mean, specifically, it's more of a man beating play if I'm being honest. As it looks like we might have a man coverage. As the B receiver here is a really good deep man beater, and then the sail route or whatever the A route's running in the return route from the tight ends are pretty good, but the running back is more of a zone concept. You can see right here, he just motions out. There's nothing really out here dropping down for him. But like I said, I would call this more against a man. As you can see, somebody follows, although he doesn't follow out enough, and then you can just take this route underneath for an easy catch and run. So you really have to man the back, but then every other route pretty much gets open except for the X receiver here. Like I said, you can just throw that very quickly, get upfield, get about 8 every single time. Hoping to get some more man coverages here so I could show that. But nothing's really dropping down. The thing too is you have to get out quick because it'll get, and you really want to run to the open side of the field like I am, because otherwise he just kind of goes out of bounds. You know what I mean? But if you swing it out quick, it's a really easy catch and run. I don't know what that coverage was. That was the fastest that they dropped down on him. So yeah, like I said, I don't know. I'm not really seeing. I don't know if this is a man glitch because I'm just not seeing any man coverages at all. Here it looks like we have a man. So here we get that read very easily. Hit that B on that back shoulder, and then like I said, you have your other routes as well, which is the 2 tight ends also beat man coverage. Not sure if this is a man though. Is this not? Like I said, that's pretty much the read. I'm pretty much just reading if it's zone running back, if it's man, hit the B route. This is definitely going to be a man. So I'll try to hit some of these other routes. As you can see right there, I had to throw that really quickly because it was a 0. But, you know, that's pretty much the play. You also have some options for some big plays against things like cover 2, where I can put the B receiver on a streak. That motion route, once again, will help to pull the cornerback down and allow for this throw here, which probably would work better if I wasn't running from a hash mark like I am. I don't really feel like I have... Like the B receiver here gets covered by the mid read, but you can see the longer that the play goes, even though I got sacked there because I was kind of just watching what happened. The longer the play goes, the more the X receiver gets open. So here we go, just drop that in there. But like I said, the safety also has time to recover, so it's a decent cover 2 concept. Also has some cover 3 capabilities. We'll go ahead and pick that, pick cover 3 sky, although this is going to be similar, where we just have to motion this guy out. You got to block the running back for this. Motion this guy out. Put everybody on streaks. And this is just going to be a seam beater that might have potential for a one-play touchdown, but it's really not necessarily designed for a one-play touchdown against this defense. Next up, we have the PA Flood, which is going to be similar. We'll go random once again. You have running back, which is a zone concept. The B receiver there, which I couldn't get off, is a man concept. There we go once again. And I'm making a poor read there because I have my camera, although I made the play, but I got to fix my camera. I messed it up a while back and I never actually fixed it. There we go. So now we're back. So here it looks like we have a man coverage, and I definitely discovered that late. We still threaded it in there. And then the RB route also beats man. You could put the, looks like we have another man coverage here. You could put the, he's on a call for, you could put A on a drag or an in also, and have 3 levels of passing over the middle, starting with the running back, because we have a zone here. Just flip that out to him. And if you do that, you have, you know, like I said, the running back only beats man. You put A on a drag, which might get across quicker, but the running back only beats zone. And then pretty much every other route other than the pull route here, which is the wheel route, beats man or zone. As you can see here, we got zone. Like I said, I'm not going to force it down the field if I don't have to. I'll just take the check down. So really good, 3 levels of passing. If you put A on a drag, A can beat man or zone, and the in route can beat man or zone also, as I force it to one of the other routes. And then, like I said, the sail route that B's running is really just a man beater. But you can use that wheel route similarly against things like cover 2, be on a streak, and just motion this guy out. And it'll help the play action, especially will help the X receiver get open outside. Although, like I said, that safety can be a problem. I'm going to make that motion one more time, although we messed that up. I find running it cover 2 beaters from a hash mark like this actually hurts because the safety feels like it covers better. I don't know what it is, but we'll run it from a short side and see how it works a little bit better. As you can see there, wide open. You know what I mean? So running it from a hash to the short side for whatever reason has that effect. Where if I run it from this side, you're going to see how he's just going to do a better job. I don't know if I have the motion him out either. I think you do, but yeah, I mean, there's definitely space there. I feel like maybe the motion might pull the safety pre-snap and put him in a position where he might be in a better position here. I'm not sure. It doesn't really make sense. He shouldn't be able to cover more, but you can see he sprints to that side. And then you can see how, this is just a big play once again. Probably have the same success against cover 2 man because of the angle of the release. So we'll pick cover 2 man. Streak B once again. I'm going to put RB on a 10-yard out route too, just in case the B receiver doesn't get pressed, which you can tell already he does not. So that's an easy play against cover 2 man. But you should be able to, and I'm not going to bother with the 10-yard out around the other guy, but you should be able to do, if you motion this guy out, you should be able to get around that jam also. Although it's not reliable, so it really is just more about the B route, about the streak. And then it also has success against cover 3 the same way, where it's just going to be a seam play. Although you can put RB on a corner route to make that actually a possibility. As you can see, you can open up the seam, although this looks like it might be more capable of a one-play touchdown. Next up, we have the motion fork H choice. I'm going to do cover 3 first, cover 3 sky. For this play, you just got to motion across this other tight end. You got to block the running back, put him on a streak, and motion him across. And then the B receiver, I mean, you can put him on a streak too. I guess that's the way to go. You can put the running back on like an out route or something for a check down, but the X receiver here crosses to a lot of space because of the 2 streaks holding the cornerback and the safety. And I'm sure it'll have the same effect against cover 3. Cover 3 match. Where we at here? There we go. Although I'm not entirely sure what the current effect of the setup is either with the B receiver here. He just gets wide open. So that might be a good man-beating concept as well. But let's just put him on a streak for now. Let's see if this works without having to motion that tight end across. As you can see, the safety does match. So we have to use the same setup, where we're going to block the running back, motion RB across, and then put both these guys on streaks. And you'll see how I'm going to run for my life because we have Chris Jones right in our face, but you can see how it's the same separation. You know what I mean? It's the same type of window. Next up against cover 4 quarters, just put the running back on a wheel, motion him out, and then put the B receiver on a streak. And the B receiver here is going to get open because there's going to be some confusion as to who's supposed to cover what. He just runs right through the middle there. Next up, we're going to choose a cover 4 regular, which is cover 4 drop. You probably want to run this from a hash to the short side. As you just want to put A on a streak, RB on a corner, and then B on a streak. And I would repost the X receiver because the angle is better. So that streak will pull back the safety while the corner will hold down the corner out. And the X receiver here will eventually get open, although it appears that I may not have space here. So we're going to do that one more time. Just to give this another try, I might want to custom stem the X receiver up a little bit, as we're already running for our life. From Chris Jones, but we still got over the top for the one-play touchdown. Although, like I said, if you custom stem that up a little bit, might be helpful.
Need more help or just want to show your support? Then head over to my Patreon and join my team, where you can get exclusive content like ebooks and bonus plays, as well as early access to my vids and more. Link in the description below.